And what they do.
All right, I'm calling this regular meeting of Town of Gibsons Council to order on February 17th, 2026, 3:30 p.m. We're honored to be gathered on the traditional territory of the Squamish Nation, and we need to approve the agenda. First off, moved by Councillor Kroll, seconded by Councillor DeAndrade. All those in favor? The motion carries. We have minutes to adopt from the regular council meeting of February 3rd, 2026. Councillor Kroll's moving that, seconded by Councillor Lumley. All those in favor? The motion carries. And we have on bylaws, we need to adopt the Aquifer Protection Bylaw. We already passed 3 readings of it, so it was introduced. I just want to confirm that there's no more final changes to be made. We already did those.
Yeah, the last change was captured in the minutes of the committee meeting.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Kroll, seconded by Councillor Thompson. All those in favor? That bylaw is adopted. And now there's the Water Regulation Amendment Bylaw. And that's for a first, second, and third reading. I don't know if there's any introduction to that. I'll look to.
Just very briefly, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the changes in 1192 reflect the new Aquifer Protection Bylaw. So it's removing some redundant language, or language that would become redundant from 1192. And additionally, a couple of job description titles were updated to current job titles, and reference to the bulk water areas, which were part of the bulk water agreement, which are no longer relevant with the servicing of Zone 3 from the Parkland pump station. So those were, it just kind of was cleaned up, but just there was a little bit more context than just the redundant language. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is that moving the first, second, and third readings? Moved by Councillor Kroll, seconded by Councillor DeAndrade. Any discussion? All those in favor? The motion carries. And on to the next one, bylaw notice enforcement bylaw. And this is updates as well, kind of updates related to our zoning bylaw and official community plan. We've got a question on it from Councillor DeAndrade. Go ahead.
Thank you. I see here on page 38, contravene view protection regulations, it's $400. I'm just trying to understand, is it one time? If someone builds something and is a permanent, you just get a $400 fine?
Yeah, what would that look like? A contravention of view protection, typically. Do we have anyone here who can answer that? CAO?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I would imagine that would be on a per event, per fine, not a one time. When zoning related typically is on a daily basis until something changes, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I think if there's a contravention of the view protection, it's not a matter of just saying, okay, here's your $400 please, and we'll just move on. And no, I think they'd have to remove whatever the contravention is as well. Any other questions? Councillor Kroll, are you moving the bylaw for second and third reading, seconded by Councillor DeAndrade? Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. First, second, and third reading of the update to the bylaw notice enforcement bylaw. Committee of the whole meeting minutes are there. No recommendations coming from that committee of the whole. So unless there are any questions on that, I'll move on to 5.1.2, which is 2026 Utilities Asset Management and Long-Term Financial Planning. Oh, that is from the committee of the whole minutes. Okay, I'm sorry, I misread that. So we've already passed this recommendation from that committee of the whole, and we just need to put that forward as a motion here. Moved by Councillor DeAndretti, seconded by Councillor Kroll. All those in favor? Motion carries. And then also from that committee of the whole, utilities 2026 to 2030 operating capital projects. Recommendation is there at 5.1.3. We need to move that too. Moved by Councillor DeAndretti, seconded by Councillor Kroll. All those in favor? Motion carries. And then there's a recommendation here about the proposed stormwater regulation bylaw to inform the public about this bylaw and be directed, and staff be directed to consult the community of business. Moved by Councillor Kroll, seconded by Councillor DeAndretti. Need further discussion? All those in favor? The motion carries. And then there's one more, which is the 528 Marine Drive DVP and encroachment agreement, which is the issuance of the DVP to construct retaining walls over 1.2 meters be authorized, and the side yard setbacks. That's moved by Councillor Kroll, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Any discussion? Yeah, Councillor Lumley.
Is this markedly different than the 6.1?
That's a good question, yeah.
Thank you. So through the mayor, so the development variance permit is to allow them to construct the retaining walls over a certain height within the setback of the property line. The encroachment agreement allows them to have that structure then extend onto town property and match where the end of the road is. So it's the same thing, it's the same works that's being covered, but there's two different processes because one is for private property within the setback and then one is on town property. So approving the variance without approving the encroachment agreement would prevent them from being able to move forward with the development and vice versa, if that makes sense.
And 5.1.5 is probably mistitled too, right, as a motion, because it's specific to the DVP, not the encroachment agreement. We're looking at that next, so that helps to clarify it. Just to, we should point that out, that's those last three words should be struck. Any further questions? All those in favor? The motion carries. And then we'll move on to the encroachment agreement piece for that, which is in 6.1. And our director can introduce that.
Thank you, Mayor. Just very briefly, so this is the encroachment agreement for the works at 528 Marine Drive. As previously discussed, the report is very brief, just as I know council's seen this through the planning report on the development variance. I'd say really the only things of note there, the encroachment is a fair distance onto town land, but it would not impede with the existing road, and it's consistent with similar encroachments along that corridor of Marine Drive. And the language in the encroachment agreement does allow or enable the town to, if required through a major corridor improvement, require the removal of the works from town land in the future. With that, I'll just look for any questions.
Okay, Councillor Lumley.
That would be my question, I guess, Mayor, is that if you're building retaining walls and staircases and stuff, how would they remove them?
Could you just turn your mic on?
I guess I was just wondering if they're building retaining walls and like backfilling them stuff, like how would you remove them? Like, wouldn't that cause some sort of instability? And would the major works on the road include like rebuilding them or something? Like, do you understand what I might be saying? Like, if you're building retaining walls and
If anyone else does.
staircases, like, how do you remove them? Like, without, I don't know, I guess the land falling in.
Thanks. Through the mayor, I think I understand where the council's question's coming from, and I think any improvement that the town was going to make along that Marine Drive corridor would likely be extending the grade of Marine Drive, so potentially widening to be able to fit in a full separated bike lane and have a sidewalk. So there would be a need to have the Marine Drive grade level out towards that property line anyhow. So it's possible that some of the works may be able to be worked around or somehow might benefit that end goal. It's also, we can have this relayed to the engineering team for the developers to just design them in such a way that there's no, that the retaining wall concrete is in no way tied into the foundation concrete, so that if those retaining walls do have to be removed in the future, that it would not compromise the stability of the buildings. So just treat them as like fully independent structures. They're there to provide access. Certainly access would have to be provided by the town in some form or another. If we were to take over the land and to do a corridor improvement, we would have to make sure that there's a way for residents to access from the street front to the building. But I think it could likely be addressed just through an engineering exercise, just to make sure that they're designing them as fully independent structures, so that there's no opportunity that if this retaining wall is removed and all of a sudden the building is unstable.
Does anyone want to move the option? Moved by Councillor Kroll, I presume to the option to approve the encroachment agreement. Seconded by Councillor Thompson. Any further discussion? Councillor Kroll?
Thank you, Mayor White. Because we're approving this encroachment during the ADP review of this project, and I believe it also came up at the public hearing, there was a suggestion that the building itself have some sort of like awnings or canopies. Because there's an encroachment on both sides of that property, would that extend across the property, that within this agreement, they in turn would be able to add this feature to the building without having to get a separate encroachment agreement?
Through the mayor, this encroachment agreement is specific to the structures that were proposed as part of the plan, so it would not cover a potential awning in the future that would require a separate agreement or a potential amendment of the existing agreement. I think it could probably be amended.
Thank you for that clarification.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. And now on to item 6.2, which is a contract award for 2026 sewer collection system repairs. I think that's probably straightforward here. I'll see if there's any questions from council to staff on this. It's being moved by Councillor DeAndrade, seconded by Councillor Kroll. That's the recommendation. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? The motion carries. And now on to council reports. We got some in just today, so I don't know if everyone's had a chance to read them, but I still need to submit one for next meeting. I've been too swamped recently, but it's probably a good thing because we already had a few pages of reading here from some other members of council. Councillor Lumley.
Yeah, I just wanted to, just because the council reports are now written and they go public, I just wanted to add something to Councillor Anne Marie's report with the Fire Commission. Just so no one's confused, is that the expansion of the fire boundary by Gibsons, the chief had done a report that specifically said that it wasn't a possibility. The Gibsons Fire Department didn't have the capacity to expand. And then there was quite a discussion, and although there's a study that's as the commission ended, or like what the commission agreed upon, because the developer was there, like at the meeting, was that this study is paid by him. It's not paid by the town, it's not paid by the Gibsons Fire Department. So that's just a little bit of context to that. Like, the Gibsons Fire Department already said it's not feasible to expand the boundaries. We don't have the capacity. And these people insisted on it. So he had already done a study. So now they're doing a study themselves and paying for it. So what's that?
I need to correct you there.
Oh, but they're paying for it. Sorry, they're not.
No,
They're not?
no. It's being paid for out of our reserves. So Town of Gibsons is partially paying for it. And again, we were outvoted 2-1 on that. And the staff recommendation was even that the developer be approached to replenish the reserves, and that was taken out by the other two directors.
Oh, was this
They did not want the developer to pay for the study. They wanted the members of the function to pay for it. So that includes the town, and we're having to pay for it, even though the chief already made that. And I argued against it, and then when it came to
This was at the regional
came to board,
district?
yeah, this was just days
okay.
ago. I'm
All right.
updating you for,
Yeah, thank you.
Councillor DeAndrade argued against it, and they went ahead with it anyway, 2-1. And then they just ignore the fire commission where we get another vote. It doesn't matter what the fire commission says.
Well, that was my next question, I guess. Why are they just making their own decisions, not based on the commission? Like the
Yeah.
regional district?
Yeah, even though the commission clearly put forward a motion that said, I mean, it was the motion the commission put forward was totally contingent upon this cannot come out of the function. And so it had unanimous support from the commission because we all agreed this funding cannot come out of the function. When it showed up at the SCRD, the motion was rewritten to something else. Like, it's appalling what's going on there. And that's why we sent a letter to the chair of the commission saying we need a real review of what this commission's meant for, and that this cannot continue to be treated as kind of an advisory committee to the SCRD, because it's not. It's an independent commission, and the town has half the membership there, and that's the way it's always been set up. It was set up for good reason. We've looked into the history of it, and unfortunately, I don't have a response from the chair of the commission yet on that letter I sent, which was in December, I think. More, yeah. So it goes. Any more questions on reports? Councillor Kroll?
Thank you, Mayor White. I was, at our committee of the whole today, we were discussing how AI is sort of infiltrating almost everything we do these days. So I was quite pleased to see our student counselor's report on, even at the high school level, students are aware of it. And I don't know if Louise would like to add anything to it, but I thought, youth being so engaged with it, and probably we should have, that's probably why we have a student on council, is getting that insight that they're, keeping abreast of these things that we're all being challenged with.
Councillor DeAndrade?
On that note, I was quite impressed with the show, the youth show, the fashion show led by youth. And I thought they also focus on the theme of artificial intelligence and the dominance. So there is awareness. I think it's important. I'm glad that they are having awareness, because there's a price to pay for that. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciated the report too. I'm wondering, just a question to Louise, is this kind of some of this advocacy to the school and the teachers to integrate it into curriculum a little more, or that these learning opportunities be outside of the classroom? Or
So we were talking actually at not a DSLT meeting this year, but last year, about including some of these ideas with the talks on misinformation and AI and just like all the different effects that it's causing. And then just also through the club, we wanted to bring it into classrooms and especially into the younger grades, and then hopefully also to the elementary schools. We haven't really proposed it to teachers yet, but we've been talking to administration, and we have some advisors outside of the school district who are helping us.
Great. Well, it's a really important civic initiative too, because we're certainly impacted at local government and all levels of government when people rely on misinformation too heavily. And we're working on our own AI capabilities in the town to give people the correct information. And next, we have a motion to close on the agenda in order to go to an in-camera meeting. That motion is, the meeting would be closed in accordance with sections 91A, E, K, and M, and section 92B of the Community Charter. Moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kroll. And those items are listed on the agenda. I just want to point out. All those in favor? The motion carries. So we are closing our meeting